We made a coach with less than 10,000 followers, $306,000 in Q1 running a free community funnel. But here's the thing, you shouldn't be running the free community funnel if you want to continue taking endless sales calls, or if you like running a paid community where the churn rate is extremely high. Because in this quick video, I'm going to be showing you exactly what the free community funnel is, why we use it, and how you could implement it yourself. In no way am I actually claiming that I actually started the free community funnel from scratch, but what I'm noticing is coaches are literally stealing my exact funnel designs and doing it terribly. At this point, I really don't care about showing you what I usually charge for, and I don't really care about the views. I literally just want to show you how to actually run the free community funnel properly, because at this point, it's getting annoying looking at all these coaches copy my exact designs and them not getting any results. I just want you to win with the actual strategy instead of running with some bootleg version of it. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 3 key factors that allowed us to run a free community funnel with this specific client, which literally netted us $300K in a single quarter. And the third thing is probably one of the most common things that I see coaches miss out on. Now, before we go ahead and expose the coaches that have literally ripped off our exact funnel designs word for word, and we'll get to that, we need to understand why we decided to run the free community funnel to begin with, and especially with this client. What most coaches do is they run a basic webinar or VSL funnel, and they drive their traffic to book in calls where they inevitably close them for high ticket. And this approach works really well if you're driving a lot of traffic to your funnel. Most coaches that are making a lot of money from these types of funnels are running ads, and the ones that aren't running ads just don't make any money with these funnels. And the reason why these work really well with ads is because these funnels require a lot of traffic to go through them, and ads do just that, right? There's constant new prospects filtering through these funnels when you're running ads. Well, let me ask you something. What happens when you can't drive a bunch of traffic? The answer is simple. The solution isn't. Basically, you need to squeeze the everlasting life out of every single lead that comes through the funnel. And that was exactly the case with this client. With only 10,000 followers, no ad budget, we had to be really creative, and we were struggling to drive traffic to this funnel. So let me just quickly break down the math for you here. If you have a small following, don't run paid ads, and you have no other lead generation going on, you'll attract maybe like 10,000 people to your funnel per month. And that's on a good month. And with a 35% opt-in rate, that's about 3,500 leads per month that you can actually contact and convert. So being realistic, only 10% of those leads can actually afford what you're selling them. So that's about 350 qualified leads that you have every single month. And that was our problem. We had the leads, we just needed to maximize every single one that came in through the funnel. So basically, you can picture your coaching business as some sort of pipe where the water is the leads or the prospects coming to buy your program. And at every single step, there's potential risk for leakage where, they could click off, whether it's like a funnel step, whether it's a link click. And we want to prevent that as much as possible so that our prospects can actually get to our desired path, which is booking in a call. So that was the first key factor. We have limited traffic, and so we need to maximize every single lead that comes in through the door. So the second key factor that we need to watch out for is paid communities. Now, the reason why we say paid communities is because if you ask anyone, right now we're kind of in a golden era of subscription communities for coaches. If you look at any coach nowadays, they're all running paid communities. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you've probably seen how much I've actually hated on subscription communities, because at this point, it literally just doesn't make any sense. You could be making way more money if you just charge $4,000 to $5,000 per person coming into your program. But I digress. What are we going to go do? Copy exactly what all the other coaches are doing? Absolutely not. We're actually going to leverage the fact that they are all running paid communities and give away what they're charging for completely free. And this is where we found our edge, because this creates enormous perceived value. And our thesis was simple. Basically, we can make so much more money on the back end if we just give away the free community. And that's where the free community comes into play. So at this point, we're doing anything and everything to get everyone into the free community and use the free community as the primary selling point. When you give away something that other people are charging for, it creates enormous amounts of trust. Alex Hormozi, love him, talks about this all the time. But don't get it twisted. You don't want to give absolutely everything away for free. You just need to give away enough valuable information which causes the prospect more issues down the line or makes them realize that they literally can't do it by themselves. If you want to use an analogy for this, it's literally like selling ice cream without a cone. Like once a customer buys your ice cream without a cone, they're going to realize really quickly that they don't like sticky hands. And the other thesis that we kind of also had was that we thought that more people were willing to give away their contact information knowing that they would be entered into a free community. That's not exactly what happened. We actually saw a slight and only a slight increase in the opt-in rates for contact information, but, and this is huge, we did realize that this gave us another point of contact for our salespeople. And this, my friends, is literally one of the most critical differences a bunch of these copycat coaches don't realize. And because of this, it actually allowed us to implement the flank method. So what exactly is the flank method? Well, basically, it's a systematic way to actually hit up every single lead on every single channel possible. We built a system that allowed our setters to hit up prospects on SMS, email, dials, Instagram DMs, and now the free community. And at this point, our goal was to get the highest reply rate possible. So we placed a setter on every single channel. And the results were insane. Basically, we were tracking the data from week to week. And before we implemented the system, we had about a 3 to 5% reply rate across the board. And after we implemented the system and dialed it in, we ended up having a 40% reply rate. And what this allowed us to do was to actually jumpstart the conversations and the sales processes as soon as they entered the funnel, which obviously increased the conversions and the book calls. Now, super quickly, I want to show you a coach that literally copied us word for word, the exact funnel design, and it didn't work out for them. I'll show you why in just a second. But if we just show you our funnel, and mind you, this is from December 5th, 2024, this is their funnel. Obviously, there's some problems with Go High Level, but our funnel is here, and this is their funnel, okay? Do you see the similarities? They even copied the custom code we have for the date, which is insane to me. I mean, they could have made it look a little bit more pretty, but notice how their funnel is literally the exact same. And funny enough, really quickly after they launched this funnel, they stopped running it. You want to know why? It's because they didn't have an actual sales team in place to maximize every lead that comes in. And that's the main thing about this funnel. It's not the actual funnel design itself. It's the way you actually convert the leads on the back end. And that brings us to our third and final factor that so many coaches miss out on. The third problem that we noticed was that the leads were really cold. Despite the fact that these leads were coming through an organic channel, we wanted to accelerate the process at which that these leads are ready to buy. So within the free community, once the leads have actually joined, we implemented 2 strategies and we tested a bunch of different ones. And these are the 2 main ones that we actually realized were the highest lever ones. And the very first one was just having the weekly group calls. These weekly group calls were essentially webinars where we have, examples of other students winning, we answer a bit of questions, and we pre-handled any objections of them getting into the high ticket. Now, the second thing that we also implemented was the course material. Basically, the course material allows them to accelerate their learning, but also causes more problems down the line if they don't fix it with our high ticket program. And like I said, these weren't random activities. We wanted to establish the coach as an authority, and we also wanted the prospects to realize that they can't do it by themselves. And the results spoke for themselves. Basically, before we implemented this, we had about a 30% close rate. After we implemented it, we had a 57% close rate. Why? Because the leads realized that they had a lot more open wounds that we could just attack directly, which led to more conversions. So just to quickly recap, the 3 factors that led us to running the free community funnel was 1, we needed to maximize every single lead that was coming in through the door. Number 2, we needed to give away free resources to compete with other paid communities. And number 3, we wanted to warm up the leads as soon as possible. This approach literally allowed us to generate $306,000 for this client specifically. And if you want us to do something similar for you, you could book a call down below. Now that we understand the reason why we actually started the free community to begin with, we can actually explain how to implement it yourself. Now remember, the funnel design doesn't matter as much as the actual backend systems do, but there's still some key elements that we should pay attention to. First, before gaining access to the community, make sure to collect key pieces of information. Number 1 is the name, the phone number, then the email. And sometimes you do also want to try collecting the Instagram handle because this is just another avenue that we can use to contact the leads. Now, in this case with our client, we decided not to collect it anymore because we did realize that a bunch of the leads had private Instagrams and it was just costing us too much on the opt-in rates. Now, besides the contact info, make sure to focus on these three things on the landing page. Number one is the urgency. So you can have some sort of countdown timer. We've also tested a slider bar that shows the amount of spots that are left in the free community. Obviously, this is just BS. So the second thing is authenticity. The reason why I say that is because we're trying to build up as much trust as possible. Keep that in mind. Put case studies, copy that is very trustworthy on the page. You don't want to come across as like some sort of scammer or some sort of person that's just trying to get money. We're literally just trying to build up as much trust and give away as much value as possible, or at least appear that way. Now, the third thing is framing the free community as if it's something that's paid. And the reason why we do that is just because this increases the perceived value that the prospect actually associates with the free community, or I guess paid community. So the last thing you just want to look out for is after they submit the contact form, you can just send them an SMS and email with direct access to the free community, and then you could redirect them to the next funnel step. So after this step, make sure to have an automatic text sequence or SMS sequence, which basically over the next 15 minutes sends SMSs, just asking them questions to try and get them to reply. You also want to send a 7-day email sequence, which pre-handles any fears or objections of them joining the high ticket program. And ideally on the 7-day sequence, you can also get them to reply. Also, here's a bonus tactic that we've been using recently. So basically anyone with a North American phone number, we just forward them to book in a call instantly with a setter. And basically what this does is it creates another touch point where the leads are basically begging us to give them access to the free community. And this obviously just increases the reply rate and gets the conversation started instantly. Now, the very last thing that you could also implement is having an application form after the contact form. And basically this is just going to allow us to automatically filter people that are financially qualified and unqualified. If they are financially qualified, obviously just throw them a book a call link. And the reason why we do this is because that basically allows us to take advantage of the automatic bookings that are on other funnels like the webinar funnel or the VSL funnel. Now, very quickly, let's just break down the sales team and who you actually need to hire. Now, this is the highest lever thing that you could do to actually maximize the free community funnel. And this is the thing that will actually drive the conversions. Remember, it's all about the back end, not so much about the funnel design. So the very first hire you should probably do is an SMS setter. And basically this is just going to be someone that's on SMS texting back and forth with the leads. And the reason why this is the first hire or someone you should focus on is because the SMS is probably going to be the most immediate touch point from when someone opts in, because we're sending them texts with the actual community link within the SMS. For your next hire, I would say a dialer is probably one of the most important ones. I would say 1 to 2 dialers to begin with. And the reason why we say dialers as your next hire is because basically right after they opt in, we're going to have these dialers phone them up and trying to get the conversation started as soon as possible. Now, the way we frame these conversations is basically, it's just going to be like a coach reaching out to see if they got access to the free community, and then they could start talking and asking more questions about their specific situation. We've also tried waiting a week after they've opted in, but what we've noticed is that people just forget about the free community. And so it's better to just literally try and contact them as soon as they get into the funnel. And if the lead still hasn't replied on those 2 channels, we could also shoot them an Instagram DM or a free community DM. And basically we'll try and get a reply from one of those channels over the next week. And if they don't, it's a burned lead. And this is literally the biggest thing that allowed us to make 306K within Q1, because we had that multi-channel touchpoint sequence. We book in calls and try and close them as soon as possible. That's the secret sauce. Remember, the backend system is the most important part of this funnel. And if you don't have a full team running the entire system, it literally does not make sense to run this funnel. So there you have it. That's the complete breakdown of the free community funnel, which allowed us to do $306,000 within Q1 with only 10,000 followers. Now, if you like this video and you want us to install the system that we presented in this video, all you need to do is go ahead and book a call down below, and we'll start making you 6 figures. On this call, we'll show you exactly how to actually implement the exact same system with your current audience to start making over $100,000 per month. If not, you can also subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.